Hi everyone, it's Killshot99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead final season, episode number 18. We are in the month of October, so you guys know this had a great feel to it. We got a lot of great things going on. Before we get into tonight's breakdown, fan reactions, a little bit of everything, I want to give a super special shout out to our very own Busy B, longtime supporter of the channel, longtime sub of the channel. And we're going to officially celebrate a little bit more tomorrow, but I did want to give her a shout out. I see a couple super chats up there already. Deadly Dime says, happy birthday to Busy. We've got Amy Bones saying, hope you had an awesome birthday. And also Dal, the Axe Lord, also shouting out Busy B. So let's give her a special birthday shout out. And again, she will be with us tomorrow night as we kick off Play Dead Live. The Morgue, if you guys love turn-based Dungeons & Dragons RPG style PvP. Tune in tomorrow at 8:30. We'll be going live with a brand new Battleground. But tonight, let me shift the narrative into The Walking Dead. So we had a great show last week. I want to thank all of you guys for being there last week and also for being back here. Some of the things we talked about, actually, they started happening tonight. So let me first start, I want to do what we always do. I got to throw it out to each and every one of you. 1 to a 10, go ahead, type it in there. I know it's going to be ugly for some people. I already know a little bit of what we're thinking here, but give me a 1 to a 10, and we're going to talk about why the scores are what they are. I think in many cases, the score is going to be lower this week than last week, and we will address that. Not every week can be a 9 or a 10 or along those lines. I see, there we go. Jesus Marin already with a 9. We got Kel with a 7. Busy B says it's a little better than last week. B-Dub 8.8. Carol Stevens 7.5. Julia 8.7. Trending up toward the end, I think. So, not bad. All right, go ahead and get those scores in. I agree. We got Madison Dickey with an 8. We got Villar with an 8. Bone says 6.8. Tim 7.5. Go ahead and keep typing your scores in. I'm going to give tonight's episode, I'm going to give it an 8.1. Okay, slightly better than an 8. Not the best that I've seen, I'll tell you why. But certainly planted the seed there. Here's why, okay? Tonight's episode really, to me, it dug down into the moral fiber and psychology of the group more than we had time to develop, okay? We know the characters, but what they tried to do tonight was the equivalent of a mini-series. And it just does not work well in 40 minutes. It just does not. And here's what I mean by that. So this is the overarching themes for tonight. All right, number 1, bad guy Lance. Okay, we got to deal with bad guy Lance. And we do. So we deal with him immediately. And then the other group comes in and basically says, hey, Daryl, you stop that. And he's like, hey, I'll do what the hell I want. Daryl is just like, he's going to push back. And then, of course, he's, got to stab the hand. So immediately, we don't kill Lance. Always a bad idea not to kill the bad guy. But we know that, all right? But nonetheless, we expect it from The Walking Dead. However, we still sort of left him out there. All right, then we get back to, the whole Pam-Lance standoff, okay? So we got them there where here's a guy tied up, and here's a guy that can't do anything, but is still calling the shots, throwing it out there like the Mercer. He's like, hey, go kill those walkers. Go do what you're supposed to do. Pam comes over, and, basically in so many words, she could get rid of him. They could let the walkers eat him right there. But then he's like, you need me, Pam. You need me. You got to have me. You got to have me. You got to have all these things. So, again, I'm like, just kill the son of a bitch and just move on. It's just, if he's gone, we don't have to worry about him anymore. But no, they don't. So they lock him up. We get some flashbacks of Negan being in jail all those years. Well, you ain't redeeming Lance, nor are they trying to. So, anyway, we get Lance locked up. All right, then after we get Lance locked up, that's where we get to the second narrative. Okay, first narrative is deal with the bad guy. Second narrative is everybody's got to choose. You stay in or are you leaving? You staying or are you leaving? Well, I kind of want to leave, but I feel safe here. Okay, so then you do this. Then you got Negan, and, it gives you the speech. Oh, okay, but one thing I like, first of all, Negan's speeches aren't long, but it did have a little Morgan feel to me, where he's there with his baby, and he says, my dad always says that once you have kids, your life is not your life anymore. So we get a little bit of that. So now we got Negan, and we're split on whether or not leave to be with the group or stay and take care of your baby. And the irony to this is that Negan wants to stay. And then we move on like person to person. So then we get to Father G. So you got Rosita there, and you got Coco there, and then Father G also gives you, the congregation made me feel something again. And Rosita's kind of telling him, yeah, but you gave them something back. Yeah, and then, sort of break the ice a little bit. So now you got Rosita and Father G. Who wants to leave? Who wants to stay? Then you got Carol, and do you guys see a trend here? The trend here is we went through like 5 different groups, and every group seems split about whether to stay or leave. That's a lot to develop in a short period of time. Maybe you didn't notice in real time why it was happening. Maybe you did, but it was just the same song and dance, okay? You leave, we'll stay. You leave, we'll stay. To me, what it shows is, and again, this is what I think they were trying to develop, is the moral fiber of the group is, leave in chat right now. What is so special about The Walking Dead and about Alexandria? Write it in chat right now, because this is what I want to hit home. This is what I want you guys to understand, is that the soul of The Walking Dead, and this is where I think they're going to the ending of the show, and they're trying to do this toward the end, is they're preparing us for who is actually going to leave and who is going to stay. So, the soul of The Walking Dead, Maggie said this very well. She's like, I don't really trust her, but if you guys say it's safe, we're safe. So the soul of The Walking Dead is that they always stay together. Absolutely, B-Dub. Always. No matter what happens, they are there for each other. And now they've gotten a taste of the Commonwealth. They've got a taste of the easy life. All right, so something happened where it was subtle, but did you guys notice when Maggie and Daryl and Carol and they were all there, did you guys notice Daryl go pick up the apple? How many people saw that? Like, out of the blue, they're there. He could have walked away, but there just happened to be some apples sitting there, and Daryl walked over and he picked up the apple. Now, here's what that meant to me. What happened just before they left Alexandria when Eugene left to go to the Commonwealth? When Negan and Maggie left, what were they looking for? They had to eat a horse. They had to eat horses. And Daryl is basically saying, we got food here. It is kind of nice not to have to go scavenge for food. It's nice to have the things that we take for granted. It's nice to have those things because we did not have those things before. So even though we had family, we were starving. So now you've got everybody here has an easier life. But you know what? Here is what is beautiful about The Walking Dead. Okay? So those first 2 things, to be honest, had me at about a 6. I was about a 6. I was like, yeah, they better get to part number 3 and really develop this thing, okay? Because how they're handling Lance is not working for me. How they're handling the split is not working for me. But here's what they did beautifully, which brought it back. Okay? If you can't make people leave to go back to danger, what does Walking Dead do? All right, first of all, everybody locked in their votes. So they're like, I'm staying. Oh, hell no. It don't matter what you chose now because the walkers are here with you. It is now more dangerous to be in this community where you got a lot more walkers. Do you guys remember Hilltop? Remember when they were all sleeping? And next thing you know, it was like everybody turned into a walker. That's what Commonwealth started feeling like there for a minute. All it takes is about 15 or 20 to turn, sometimes in the middle of the night, and your whole community is turned upside down. So luckily for me, anyway, maybe not for you guys, but for me, I needed that. So I needed that suspense, that drama, and again, it made it okay that we found out where you stand on this issue. I kind of needed to know who was leaving, who was staying. So at the time, I didn't really appreciate it. And then when I saw the danger, now I can appreciate, like, okay, well, we're going to find out whose heart really is in this thing now. So it turned out to be a good setup. But again, because we're so limited in time, that's why I struggled with it. But getting that point up there. Now, I probably could have lived without the wrestling thing, to be honest. But you needed some event. So, what are you going to do out there to get everybody together? You can't have like a rock concert. So, I guess it worked. Sebastian, I think there was some relief that Sebastian died after. You almost needed that last little bit. I thought they did that well. So, I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and I'm going to ask you guys, what was the best moment of tonight's show of some of the 3/4 of the recap that I just gave you guys? Leave it in chat right now. I want to read a couple comments, and I want to address a few of your Walking Dead questions or concerns. But the last little moment with Sebastian and the fact no one was willing to help him, I think spoke volumes about who they are. Yeah, sounds reasonable. So Amy says no one helping Sebastian. Diana C, Sebastian's death. Negan is going to have to hang around because of the baby. Well, maybe not now. We'll see. The tape being broadcast. Judith used Rick's gun. Governor had fights in the public arena to help bring the community together. The irony there. The death and then no one helps. Mystery of Judith. Yep, all good, all good. And some good. There were some almost things. Daryl driving a knife through Lance's hand. I thought they did kind of like a fake out a little bit. Now, I didn't think Judith was going to die. Again, I think most of us kind of know better at this point. But it was set up very well. So, in the church scene, Daryl saying, you're stuck with me, I got to protect you. And then him losing her in public. That gave me a little bit of adrenaline rush, like, oh boy. But again, like my common sense kicked in and said, there's no way Judith is going to die. No way. But in the moment when you're watching and you don't process all of that, it was kind of like, oh boy. One split second, he let her out of his sight. So a lot of apples, candy apples tonight. I'm still trying to figure out like the the candy apple. Was there like a key in there? Was there something? Why did he wait? Just still got to get to the bottom of that. What's up, Isaiah? It's good to see you again, too. Hey, you know what? I'm going to tell you guys. We're here. So if it's not Walking Dead, you guys can always pop in. We're still streaming our game and other streams 5 or 6 times a week. But absolutely, if it's not a Walking Dead stream, stop in some nights and just say hello. So what about the Lydia relationship? I thought that was kind of cool, the way they sort of snuck that in there. And then, because it was almost like she was seeking Carol's approval because of Henry. So I thought that was kind of neat. So is Pamela letting Lance out? I don't know. Maybe because, maybe not intentionally. So here's what I think with Pamela. Too easy to kill him. May serve some purpose. Using him as leverage, but hopeful that Sebastian can rise to the occasion. Well, now that he can't, it appeared by the sneak peek next week that Pamela wants to find Eugene Porter. Because, if you guys caught this, when that recording was playing, Pamela looked up, and I bet she saw the ponytail. What do you guys want to bet? She had to see the ponytail. So she knew Eugene was up there. She knew he's up to something. And she said, got to make an example. So the example looks like next week is going to be Eugene. Well, if you're going to make an example, you're going to have to find me first. I mean, Eugene's going to be hiding. Last time we saw Eugene in trouble, he was in a lineup with Negan, and he was, the bottom lip was like quivering. So, Pam is going to, look, it's kind of time. Now, something has got to give with Annie, though. Don't know what it's going to be. I don't think Annie's going to intervene in this whole Eugene thing, but something's got to bring Negan back to being Negan without pushing him over the edge. Very interested in that. Yes, absolutely. All right, so one thing I do want to say to you guys, if you guys have already watched next week, do me a favor. If you know spoilers, if you have information, do not chime in. One of the things that we really, really want to do, we take pride in, is trying to give a breakdown and an analysis without having all the answers. It's very easy to have an answer and just come in and give away the answer. So if you do have inside information, don't. Because it kind of defeats the purpose of talking about it. So let me kind of throw this out to the group. Is Pam Milton that final villain that we will see this year? Does she have it in her to do something? To do something that is going to leave us with a alpha type of feel, with a Negan type of feel in season 7. Do we have enough? We don't yet. Or is that Lance? See, that's where I think I'm kind of on the fence. Like, Sebastian was very predictable. But now you've got Pamela Milton that, okay, she doesn't have her son. So to me, that could be gloves are off. Gloves are off. So let's analyze what Pamela Milton could be capable of. So leave your best guess in chat right now. Lance and Pam, worst enemies. Lance and Pamela, partners in crime. Because it does feel like if Pam lost Sebastian, now there is no heir to the throne. So you got Pamela running the Commonwealth. Lance has always wanted to run the Commonwealth. And now you got Max, who, if the Commonwealth is redeemed to a certain point, Max would be that leader. But we still have to deal with Pamela and Lance. Absolutely. See, I agree with that. What does Pamela have to lose this point? Nothing. Well, nothing except the heritage and, Founders Day and passing it down. But the Commonwealth is looking for a new direction. That is obvious by the recordings and the people. If the people survive all of these zombies, which it does look like they are, looks like Mercer took care of business for the most part, that they'll be okay. At this point, Pamela has lost the most important thing, which is her legacy. So if she can't get her legacy back or rebuild her legacy, then all bets are off. Yeah, Julia, I just don't know she had another choice. Because Sebastian did say, well, her first choice would have been my brother. Welcome to Rhaenyra's world. It's like, okay, you'll never be queen. See, you know what, Jesus, you just brought up something. This is where I think it could go. What if? All right, hear me out for a second. All right, let this process. Bold prediction. You guys ready? Give me a 999. I'm feeling it coming on right now. Kill shot, bold prediction. If you guys are ready for it, it is a prediction that you will only find right here. I got it. It just came to me. This is the way it's going to go down. It makes too much sense. All right. It's the ultimate setup, but now we got it. All right. Let me see those 999s. I'm going to give you guys the ultimate bold prediction. Okay. Here's where we're at. All right. Pam just cut a deal with Carol. Go back to your communities. We'll set you up. We got your back. All right. That's cool. Maggie's like, well, heels. I ought not to trust him, but if you trust him, so Maggie was non-trusting, but she's going to go with the flow. But now, one of their group, Eugene Porter, just screwed Pam Milton over. So here's what happens. She ain't going to keep her word. So now, all those deals that are made, Pamela's going to backtrack because of Eugene. So that affects everybody. So guess how it affects Negan. Because now Pamela is going to go in and say, no, you're not getting medical care any longer because your people betrayed us, so I'm cutting this off. So that's going to piss Negan off because now Annie ain't getting medical care. So that's where the division is going to be created, and that's where Pamela can step in and start to be that villain that we need because she has control over the resources. Ezekiel ain't going to have his zoo no longer. Negan ain't going to have medical care. So all of these things that people are used to getting, Eugene and Max just screwed it up. Now, that could mean that Lance has some relevance again. If Pam needs Lance, then you got the ultimate partners in crime. You've got Lance who has people. You got Pam who needs a right hand that is not Mercer. So that could create kind of that us and them mentality. Lance, Pamela, Maggie, Daryl, Negan, their group, our group, their group, our group, because something has got to get us to a point of spinoffs. Imagine if Annie does not get medical care and dies giving birth. And see, that's what I think. I think Negan gets his baby. I think she dies during labor. Because to me, that's what would create the spinoff. If Negan had to go after the people, I don't think the baby dies. I think Negan's going to get his baby. I think Annie's going to die. But I think Negan and Maggie will have the common bond that they need to take out certain people to protect the future of their kid. Remember what Negan said tonight. He said his dad told him that when you have a child, your life is no longer your own, and he's always wanted to know what that feels like. So, if Pamela Milton cuts off some of the medical care and Annie dies, but the baby lives, then that could set up the spinoff in a big, big way, in my opinion. Because then you have Maggie fighting for Herschel. Now, if Negan names that baby Glenn, don't name the baby Glenn, whatever you do. All right, but we got a lot to dig into. So, in watching the show in real time, I certainly had questions in how it was being developed. But now that we got to the end, I'm going to go on record of saying that Pam and Lance will form some type of partnership, and the other groups are really going to have to get together for one more epic battle. And during that battle, we're going to lose some people. And I think that's the direction of the rest of the show. So I feel like the action is going to get hot and heavy very, very quickly. And if you guys like our breakdown, if you like to talk about it, if you like our review, then subscribe, hang out with us. We're going to be doing this for a long time. We have been doing this for a long time. So when the spinoffs happen next year, we'll be here all season. Spinoffs happen next year. We'll be here talking about the spinoffs. We got a few surprises for all of you guys along the way. So I do want to ask this. All of our Walking Dead fans, we got a Play Dead Live portal coming up. And when we launch that, I would love for all of you guys to go in, sign up for it. We're going to have a lot of extras for our Walking Dead fans, for our gaming fans, everybody that gives us a little bit of time. I want to keep this at 30 minutes tonight so you guys can go watch Talking Dead, get a little bit more insight. I thank all of you guys for being here and being such a big part of our channel. Do me a favor real quick. Now that we've talked about it, if your score changed or if you thought about things a little bit more, leave it in chat right now. Give me your final score of this week's Walking Dead episode. Did we get a few more people? Maybe up a little bit higher? Did we add a tenth of a point or a half a point? Leave it in chat right now. Want to see if talking about it, thinking about it, might have changed your mind just a little bit. All right. And once you do that, do me a favor. Finish us off with a 999. And I want to give as many shout outs as we can possibly get as we wind down tonight's stream. I see Eric Beach says 8. Carol Stevens says maybe an 8. Danny K 9.1. Nixie 8.4. Bones bumped it up to a 7. Villar's come on, Villar. We didn't move the needle like a tenth of a point. Now Keels. Come on, Villar. Give us an 8.1. We got Diana C 8. Tim Lamora 8.1. Fed up in Indiana. I see you. 8.8. Dimes 8.8. Isaiah's. Solid 8. B-Dub 8.8. Nixie 999. After the score 999. Still a 7. All right, everybody. Well, hey, I appreciate your thoughts. Appreciate you guys being here tonight. And shout outs for all the 999. So I'm going to start out with Nixie, who started with a 999. Julia Muse. Bones Ferreira. E Beach the Deacon. Villar in the house. Donnie T on the backup. Isaiah, it's good to see you again, my man. Also, we got Madison Dickey. Thank you for being here. Busy Bee, happy birthday to you. Kel in the house. Northside Queen. Great to see you, Northside Queen. Tim Lamora, what's up, Tim Lamora? All right, if I missed you guys in a shout, I see B-Dub in the house. We will catch all of you guys next week. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and don't forget to hang out with us, pop in, say hello during the week, and certainly for the Walking Dead streams and any additional streams that we have. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great night. Peace.